Okay, good morning. It is a Wednesday. We've got some weather to talk about, certainly, as we always do here. The changes coming this weekend are going to be big. There's some fog out there now. Temperatures today will be warm again, like yesterday, so back into the 60s and 70s. And we'll just do a quick look. We'll look at the weekend, which I think is the big thing right now. So we've got this weather system that is kind of looks like a cold system. Looks like it's not a ton of moisture, but it certainly has energy. And the weekend is not in danger because the weekend's going to be the weekend no matter what we do. But it looks like it's not going to be as awesome as you might like it to be. And we know a couple people who have events this weekend that are not pleased with what's coming up. So let's get to it. First thing, we'll talk about the fog. We'll look at the profiler. Just because there's a bunch of fog out there right now, but parts of the coast north of Marin County, there's not really any fog. It kind of mixed out. Warmer weather, so we're going to find temperatures today as warm, if not warmer than yesterday. Weekend changes, right? Just in time for the weekend. South Swell continues, which is sort of interesting. It's had an experience yesterday down in Santa Cruz where it was like, wow, I shouldn't say this, but it was nobody out. Because I think when you have a long, protracted period of swell, people kind of burn out, and so there's not arms get tired and such day after day, and so it wasn't busy as it typically is. For the first time, I was as unbusy as I've seen it in 10 years since COVID. And then we'll look at the birds, because the birds you're going to be shocked. Like I put chapters in here so you can skip ahead to the GFS. You can skip ahead to the birds, but if you skip ahead to the birds, take a deep breath before you look, because they're big. They are big, 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 weirdly big. Like, I don't know how they grew. I took yesterday off and went surfing, and didn't produce one of these. I knew you'd be fine, right? But I come back a day later and the birds are bigger. I don't know how that works. Okay, so here's the U.S. map. I like this shot only because you can see it all. This is that severe weather. This is some stuff going on right out here. We'll talk about that a little bit too. That's Oklahoma, parts of Texas, but potential for severe weather today. Thunderstorms, rotating thunderstorms, tornadoes. And that's going to have an impact on Dallas, perhaps. I'm thinking about the airport hubs now. Maybe a little impact on Chicago with some of that energy moving in that direction. And remember, look at these blossoming already, right? It's not even the heat of the day, and you get these big buildups. Those are big, big storms. And then out here, you got a little bit of a little wave that went through, and that cleared out the fog along the coast, at least north of San Francisco. South of San Francisco, it actually served to deepen the marine layer. We'll see how that looks as well. So let's get to it. This is the visible satellite. That was infrared. So you can kind of see just a little bit of kind of curvature that would represent some kind of energy. I wouldn't analyze a front there, but see that little swath right there, right? So somehow the inversions, there's a little vorticity maximum or something there that's lifting it out and creating and breaking up the inversion and creating some instability. And you see the clouds coming off of that. You see the fog prevalent from Point Reyes all the way down to San Diego. And pretty deep in San Diego. See how far inland the intrusion is? And then everybody else, my buddies up in Mount Shasta, you are solid. Petrolia, you are good. Eureka, you're clear. Lake Tahoe, you got a few high clouds. And they are, yes, still skiing up at Lake Tahoe, which is awesome. There's the marine layer. This is from Mount Tamalpais. Let's do that thing we do where we look at it and go, watch it get, I think it'll probably, it doesn't move much. I was going to say, sometimes it deepens up. You can see Montero Mountain off in the distance. And you just see the fog steadily just marching inland. Now, the marine layer, based on this picture, right, 1900 feet, and because Mount Tam is 25 approximately. So we'll go to the profiler and we'll go, yeah, we're pretty close. This is Fort Ord. This is the best profile closest to us. And it shows the inversion right about 1900 feet. So again, this is a great way to pick out inversions. This is the cold air underneath. This is the warm air above, the colors, right? Just use the colors. And time works its way from right, yesterday, last night, to this morning. And look at how this morning, that little wave must have gone through. That wave we looked at must have gone through, right? And then look at it just lifts up the inversion. Until then, around midnight, the inversion was still around 1300 feet. And then boom, big lift. So just sort of profilers are awesome. Like this marine layer doesn't look like a marine layer that's going to burn off very early either. As it gets deeper, it helps, but you're not seeing a lot of, before we were seeing that warmer air in here, which would facilitate mixing, but I don't see that. So the marine layer, especially, south, it looks like it's going to hang in down by San Diego. Again, this is the forward profiler, so not necessarily in that region, but just it gives you a visual cross section of that fog bank. Here is the GFS model. This is Forticity. This is the model we use when we're going way out looking for stuff, not when we're close in. This is, well, we've got a loop around us. I'll put that loop around us, and you can see the ridge, that bump, just that little hump. Oh, and you can kind of see, interesting, you can kind of see that little thing, right? See that little, I should point it out. See, keep your eye on this guy. So this is right now, this guy right here. So this is right now, and that's the little vorticity maximum. And in fact, it is a vort max, isn't it? Huh. Yeah. And that's what's doing it to the fog. It works its way down the coast, keeps the marine layer deep, and then kind of kicks inland. But overall, it's just a small feature. But that's nice to see the model picking up on that, especially when you see it on the satellite, and then you see it. This is a computer model that was put together hours ago, right, by the supercomputers in Washington. And so for it to pick that up is pretty awesome. Anyway, that's a small feature that we have this morning that's impacting our fog bank. A bigger feature comes in. Look at that. That's a warm day on Thursday. And then Friday looks like a nice day too. And then Saturday, ooh, right? What do you do with that? That's Saturday into Sunday. Very similar to last weekend. Very similar. Wow. Yeah, so that's kind of a drag. We'll see how it goes. But so right now, warm days right through Thursday. I think Friday looks pretty nice too. A few clouds, but warm, mild. And then Saturday, big cool down. And we'll see that depicted. We can look at the thicknesses. Let's just look for colors, right? So here we go. Nice. Little shower activity on the west slope of Sierra Nevada on tonight, I guess. And then nothing. And then here comes that event. Not a lot of moisture entrained with it, but you see the dash lines dropping down. See that big drop in the thicknesses? That's a big cool down. And then the 540 line, that solid purple, comes in, and that's cold. That means snow levels will be down, 5,500 feet around Lake Tahoe. And then there's your showers and thunder showers on Saturday and Sunday. So mostly Lake Tahoe activity, but coastal range as well. So it bears watching. And again, remember how last weekend went? It's going to go like that. And so that means you got away with it last weekend. You'll get away with it this weekend. Some areas like Stockton, you got hammered last weekend with that wind cell that went over. This is the 8th station index. I just wanted to point out that number one, this is the water report card for Northern California watershed, and it's A+. We are at 112% of rainfall average. And if you go to the 6th station index, further south, not as important, but important nonetheless, they're at 88% of average. So that's super awesome because they balance out, which is great. But also, we're going to add to this. Last weekend, we got a half foot of snow up in the mountains. This weekend, we may see another half foot of snow. That is substantial. That's bonus water, which will keep your PG&E bills, well, not your PG&E bills so much, but your water bill should help your water bills out quite a bit. So there you go. These are the forecast highs for today. We've got 87 in Redding. Nice day. Oh, by the way, tree pollens. Ouch, right? I'm getting crushed right now. I went out with my son surfing yesterday, and I was like, God, it's like you're tired. Like for me, it's like I'm tired. I'm just like really tired. Like not physically. No, I guess it is physically. Like I could run and bike or whatever, but like my brain just goes, like that. So pollens are grinding right now. And today, tomorrow, maybe a little into Friday, it's going to be noticeable. And I feel like this week's going to be the worst week, but that's just hope. Sacramento's going to go 84 degrees. San Jose goes 80. Bakersfield 85. Los Angeles 60 or 70, and San Diego 70. and forecast highs for today in the national map. So we did weather, right? We know we got some smooth sailing here right through Friday night. And then Saturday, generally for most of us. And then Saturday and Sunday, bang, it's on. And that's, when we get closer, we'll look at different models. We'll look at the HRRR, we'll look at the NAM, we'll look at models that are more designed to take an hour by hour look, and that are more granular. And that'll help. And I think you'll be fine. I mean, don't freak out. Like, I know a young man, he's actually in our group. He's getting married. Where's it, Auburn? Is it Auburn you're getting married? Yeah, something like that. And it'll be fine. It's just not going to be 80 degrees and awesome. It'll be awesome because you're getting married and you're happy. That's exciting. And I think somewhere, like I've heard people say somewhere that a little bit of rain on your wedding is good luck. I think that's just what people say to make you feel better. Okay. So, this is the severe. This is tomorrow's concerns, or today's concerns, pardon me. And this is that stormy section. Remember, we were looking at those blossoming cells. Look at that, red. That's severe thunderstorm warnings, flood watches. They're going to see it all. Tornadoes, real possibility. And of course, this is Tornado Alley for sure. You're right in there. So there's going to be some pictures coming out of here this afternoon. And it's not a small area, but it's a smaller area than, it's pretty bite-sized. Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, not quite Nebraska, but Kansas. So hang in there. This is the time of year, when you're in the spring, that is when it goes on. These are the forecast highs for today. And again, you can see where the weather is. Dallas, Oklahoma City, even into St. Louis, this whole swath area. And then let's see, jet stream goes like this. Not quite as pronounced as it normally is, but that's it. There's the trough. You can see the cooler Rapid City, North Dakota, 58 degrees. That's the high. Billings, the high is 58 degrees. 70 in Minneapolis. So a nice day, but not horribly, horribly warm. This is courtesy of the Weather Channel, which, by the way, when I was a kid, Mark Thompson was a buddy of mine who I used to work with. He's now a big, big superstar guy, but he used to tell me, because the Weather Channel had just started, and he was a meteorologist at Cron, and he goes, dude, we turned it on. It was like pretty janky back then, right? It was just like this weird kind of like home shopping network. This is the Weather Channel back in 1986 or 85 or something. And he's like, dude, I don't ever want to see you on that channel. And I'm like, why? He goes, it's like an elephant graveyard. That's where weather people go to die. And I'm like, oh, ouch. And now, of course, it's awesome. And it's like, I think I love what they do. I love the 24-hour weather. I love all the live pictures. So it's my homage to the Weather Channel. Not like they're in danger of my site overrunning them, but I definitely, I don't think it's this way anymore, but they used to be. Sorry about the ramble. We'll look at something else while I ramble. They used to be just straight up meteorologists, because that's the thing we talked about here. Like, not everybody's a meteorologist. Most people aren't. On TV, I'd say 95%, unless it's probably changed, but at least 95% are just dudes and chicks and gals and people talking. And which is fine. It's just weather. It's not brain surgery, but it is nice to have real meteorologists that look at real, like what we're doing. You're almost like a real meteorologist. If you're hanging in for all this, you're kind of like, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is a peek behind the curtain. I mean, there's some really hardcore the guys at NASA and the guys at JPL. Those guys, in men and women, they're awesome scientists. I know some, and they're humbling. Like, I don't know anything. I know nothing. When you get around them, it's horribly clear. But when you're broadcasting, when you're communicating weather, sometimes it's better to be a little bit not quite as analytical, because they need the information. I'm really just taking their information and getting it out to you in a way that you can go, oh, there's the South Swell. Oh, I can see it Ocean Beach. I can see the direction of the swell has a little more west-south in it. I see people surfing. I can tell the tide is... Can we tell what the tide's doing? This is Ocean Beach, by the way. It's kind of good size. That's a nice looking little swell too. The little peaks are peeking up. But the fog's out there for sure. That is Ocean Beach, San Francisco. This is Palama. Is this Palama? Yeah, it's Palama. And now for sure you can see the south here. because it already faces a little south. And then see how the lines are lined up. So they're like kind of like the lines. They're coming at you. Typically here they're coming more like this way. The back. I know it's subtle stuff because the topography or the bathymetry, the bottom of the ocean is kind of set up, especially at these points, for the prevailing direction of the swell. So a south swell comes in, you can see the difference. It breaks a little differently. Okay, so that's Palama. Foggy there, so we're kind of doing a little tour of the Bay Area. But yeah, Weather Channel, awesome. This is Trestles. This is where they're going to have the Olympics. This wave is like Kelly's wave pool, which, by the way, I get to go to again. And a buddy of mine, he gets a big group of us together, and we go down to that surf pool. They call it the Surf Ranch. It's awesome, and it's not an easy wave. I know it's not an easy wave. It is. It's not hard. But when you get on that inside barrel, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's super shallow. The inside, the first barrel is not. The inside barrel is really shallow and sketchy. And I know some people have been dinged up there pretty good. So this is Trestles, the South Swell showing up. Olympics there. Again, I'm not a big fan of the surfing in the Olympics, but yeah. Just because it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge. It's like dance, and dance is beautiful too. But it's like I just feel like it's probably because I'm not a good surfer. I mean, I'm probably an okay surfer, but I mean, I'm not. If I was really good, maybe I'd want to compete. I didn't want to maybe I do compete, and I don't know I'm competing. Let me think about that. Let me go talk to my therapist. Okay, so here's that South Swell. So that's what we were just looking at, and it keeps pounding. This is right through Monday. See it at our latitude. Oranges, it's coming from the south, and then there's a cross swell there. Look at that. See how it crosses up? That's nice. That's on. Friday's a surf day. Wow. Okay. And then the south swell sort of dies out, at least at our latitude. So right, so if you're a surfer, that's courtesy of Surfline, which they're awesome too. And again, they're not threatened by me, so I can use their stuff. Plus, I subscribe. Plus, I told them. This is Cooksey. This is 63 degrees, and this is the North Coast where you don't expect it to not be foggy in April, but it isn't foggy in April. It is clear in April, and it's beautiful, and that's because of that little Forticity maximum that we uncovered ourselves. This is the University of California, Santa Barbara, 67 degrees. The fog's down there. It'll probably clear out at some point as that Fort Max goes through, Forticity maximum, which is just a number. Vorticity is shear, and I haven't looked at vorticity in a long time, but it's essentially wind shear, and it creates lift when the vorticity is spinning counterclockwise like a low. It rises, the air lifts and expands. When it's rotating clockwise like a high, the vorticity is negative and sinks, right? So a positive vorticity, the air is rising and blossoming, more conducive to bad weather. And when it's sinking, it's more conducive to warmer weather or drier weather, certainly. Simplicity, yes, that's the way to describe these things. We could look at we could really grind it out, but you'd be like, whatever, Bill, I want to get on with it. So there's other places that do that though. So that's the beauty part about here. I think you can get one of those concepts and just run with it, right? It's all right here. It's all in this little magic window. Just go grab it and run and enjoy, because it's awesome. I was a pretty good physics student in my undergraduate, and I really loved it. Because I'll be honest with you, I got to get through this too, because I'm going surfing again today. I avoided physics my first 4 years at school in college, just because it's like everybody does. When you avoid physics, you lean into sociology or something. You just want to get some classes that you can grind out easily. And so when I went back to postgraduate study at atmospheric science, I was forced to take 2 or 3 semesters of physics, 2 or 3 semesters of calculus, two of chemistry, all things I avoided. And I'm like, oh my God, I wished I hadn't avoided this. This stuff's awesome. It's awesome. It is like once you crack the veneer and go, the first couple of lectures are like, what are they talking about? But once you can put your mind and wrap your head into it, it's like, oh my God. So this is like how the world is modeled, at least as we understand it. But it's fascinating. Physics, I still crack open. I love the internet for videos. I'm like, okay, give me a video explaining entropy in all its different states, right. Or I do a move, which I actually stole this from somebody. I'm just grinding out today, where I ask AI. I go, hey, listen, this is San Diego. Hey, listen, give me Einstein's theory of relativity as if I was a seventh grader, and then as if I'm a ninth grader, and then as if I'm a junior in high school, and then as if I'm a senior in high school, and then as if I'm a physicist, and just put it on play and just drive your car, and they just feed it to you. And you get in that kind of progression for me helps a lot to get it. Just here's a simple. This is all it is. This is a little deeper. This is a little right. You can do that with Forticity. You can do that with anything. So if you got the AI thing working, that's awesome. It's a beautiful thing. Don't be scared of it. This is San Diego. They're going to go 70 degrees today from University of California, San Diego. Sorry about the sidebars. This is the Eagles. Okay, the weather looks good, right? First thing I see, isn't it beautiful? There's nothing better than waking up on lake and then you see the glass and then that nice little wind coming up lake. Looks like I can't tell which way it's blowing. I think it's blowing this way, down lake. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so the Eagles. Prepare yourself for awesomeness. Seriously, ready? 2, go. Oh, what? Oh my God. What is going on? Okay, how big are they? How small is mom or dad? Oh my, dude, they're gone. There's no way they're not. They're going to fly today. Oh my God. Somebody told me, they chimed in the other day and said, hey, listen, these guys are starting to flap, which is that they kind of faux fly, just kind of getting like, we're getting, and I love it. Like, they're just like, this is my favorite thing, this damn camera. This guy's like, yeah, I could go over there. I don't need this. I don't need my mom. I don't need my dad. I got wings. I could go down there. There's something I could eat. I could eat that. I could eat that thing. No, not right now. Maybe tomorrow. Oh my God. Yeah, does that ever get old? I'm telling you, if you talk about nature snack, this is it. This is it. This guy's so ready to fly, though. He's like, yeah. Oh, my God, I love it. Okay, so I'll probably watch this for a while. I am heading out because the swell's pretty good. And thanks for watching. So we got the weather done, and then we just did stuff. We learned a little bit about my love of physics, even though, I wasn't a Rhodes Scholar for sure, but just learning it was like magical. It's really it's kind of like getting religion. You're just like, what? That's how that works. Oh my God, I can model the trajectory of a ball in flight. It's like, yeah. Okay, I'll come back. It's kind of rambly today, but I know we got the weather done, which is awesome. I'll see you back here. Thanks for hanging in. Sorry about missing yesterday, but I think you guys are fine. I don't think you need me every day, but when there's stuff, I'll be here. Okay, take care.